has her own opinion. You know, and I have this wonderful girlfriend. She's just adorable. She's a wonderful woman. I think she's the greatest person in the world. The only problem is I don't think my wife likes her that much. Anyways, do I have any golfers in the crowd? Anybody golf?
Yeah.
Well, you probably would relate to this story. I have a bunch of friends who love to golf, and for 25 years they golf every Saturday. They never miss a Saturday. And a couple of weeks ago they were out golfing, and a hearse drives by, and with cars following the hearse, and one of the fellas takes off his hat and puts his hand on his heart, and the other guy says, well, what's going on here? Well, that's the least I can do for my wife, he says. It's the best material I have. I had a grandmother who was so sweet to me, and I can remember this like it was yesterday. One of my birthdays, she brought over 2 shirts for me, beautiful dress shirts, a blue one and a white one, and I thanked her, and I went upstairs, and I tried one of the shirts on, I tried the white one on. I came downstairs to see what she thought, how I looked in it, and she said, "You didn't like the blue one?" There's an two older people meet at a senior center, and he's about 90 and she's 92, and they're planning a wedding. They decide to get married, and it's a wonderful thing. And they're both walking down the street, and they turn into a pharmacy, and the fellow wants to speak to the pharmacist, and he says, "Do you have any medication for Alzheimer's disease?" And the pharmacist says, "Sure, we have plenty of that. How about medication for heart disease?" "Yes, we also have many medications for heart disease." "How about medication for diabetes and high blood pressure?" "Yes, we have that too." "What about canes and wheelchairs? Do you sell those?" "Yes, we have that." So the man leaves, and he finds the woman he's going to marry, and he says to her, "You know, I think this is the perfect place for a wedding registry." These are true stories. These are true stories. I'm not making any of this up. There's I forgot the joke now. There's a fellow who visits his rabbi, and he's almost sure that his wife is trying to poison him. And he's just frantic, and he talks to the rabbi, and the rabbi says, "Well, calm down, I'll go talk to her." So Rabbi makes an appointment, he sees the woman, and he ends up speaking to her for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And a couple of weeks pass, and the fellow calls the rabbi, and he says, "Well, did you see my wife and talk to her?" And he says, "Yes. I talked to her for about 3 hours." And then the fellow says, well, what happened? What should I do? He says, "Well, if I were you, I would take the poison." I have another rabbi joke. There's a big rabbinical conference in Las Vegas, and Rabbi Schwartz is going there, and goes to the hotel, and he registers, and gets his key, and he goes up to his room, and he's unpacking to get ready for the day. And there's a knock on the door, and a beautiful woman is at the door. She's wearing a mink coat, and she comes into the room, and she says, "This is a present from Rabbi Goldberg." And she takes off her coat, and she's not wearing anything. And Rabbi Schwartz is outraged. He said, I can't believe this. This is an outrage. I'm a very pious man. I have a wonderful congregation at home, and I can't believe Rabbi Goldberg did this. So he gets on the phone, and he gets Rabbi Goldberg's room, and Rabbi Goldberg answers, and he says, "I can't believe what you did, Rabbi Goldberg. This is terrible. You know I'm a pious rabbi. I'm going to report you to the rabbinical council for what you did." And while he's talking to Rabbi Goldberg, the woman starts putting her coat back on, and she starts leaving the room, and he says, wait, I'm mad at Rabbi Goldberg, not you. I have another rabbi story. There's a young fella, there's a rabbi who every Friday has a service, and it's almost over, and he looks out in the congregation, and he sees a young man, And he looks very depressed. He's got his head in his hands, and he's all disheveled. So after the service, the rabbi goes to the back of the synagogue, and he knows the young man. His name is Jerry. And he said, Jerry, what's wrong? You look so sad and depressed. And Jerry says, well, you know, Rabbi, I'm 30 years old, I'm not married, I don't have a girlfriend. Whenever I bring a girl home to meet my mother, she never likes them. She just never likes any of the women I bring home. So what should I do, Rabbi? So the rabbi says, well, you know, I think I have a plan. Why don't you try to find a woman who looks like your mother, dresses like your mother, talks like your mother? I think that will help. So the young man is just excited. He can, oh, this is wonderful, Rabbi. I feel much better. So a few weeks pass, and it's another Friday night, and the young man's at the synagogue sitting in the back, and the rabbi sees him. The service is almost over. Sees the young man, and he looks worse than he did when he was there 2 weeks ago. You know, he's all disheveled, looks so depressed. When the service is over, the rabbi goes to the back of the synagogue, and he says, well, what's wrong, Jerry? You look so sad and depressed. Well, Rabbi, he says, I did everything you told me. I found a woman who looked like my mother, dresses like my mother, talks like my mother, she even cooks like my mother. Well, what was the problem? Well, my father didn't like her. Well, thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. It's been great for me to perform at the Shelter Theater. And if anybody's interested, this summer I'm planning a big tour of Outer Mongolia. And there's still tickets available. So if you're in the area, please stop by and say hi. Thank you.